Hello, strong people. Week 2, day 1 of America's Strongest Man Prep. Ooh. Even though it's week 2, it's kind of like week 1. Because last week, what was technically week 1 is just kind of a get back into it type of thing after the last competition. But this week, we're full on into events. We are full steam ahead here. So I was on vacation, like a little miniature weekend getaway vacation. I left Thursday night. I just got back today. Like one or so, I think. Maybe a little bit after that. But it's like a little bit after 4 right now. So I'm in the car for like 2.25 hours, whatever it was. Got some Sheets food, less than ideal water, less than ideal sleep. It wasn't like a crazy vacation, we just kind of hung out. We went to just a weekend getaway, like an hour and a half, 2 hours away, and just kind of did whatever was around the area. So, but the bed there was not very comfy. It was like they had some magic covers on the bed. Like wherever my body touched, I started to sweat. So I don't think I've slept that well the last 3 or 4 days, and I felt it today. It all came kind of crashing down. So I got like a half-hour nap in, got some caffeine in me, and now I'm ready to go. So not ideal circumstances, but they hardly ever are. So, but what we're doing today, it's going to be kind of a tough workout. They're all going to be tough workouts going forward. So we got 10 to 12 singles on the barbell press off the blocks. Between 345 and 375. So we got some room to work with there. I know 10 to 12 sounds like a lot, but whenever you're dialing in what's sort of a new movement, it's needed. So I like these weeks where it's 10 to 12 singles because you get to feel some stuff out. Depending on the weight, you might be a little bit, you're not sure about that first couple. But once you're on like 6, 7, 8, 9, usually you're kind of just like feeling out what needs to be done to move the weight correctly, efficiently. So that's what we're going to be playing with today for the most part. Obviously, these weights are not light. So I don't really know what to expect. Like I do, but I don't. I haven't barbell pressed this heavy in a long time. It used to be what I do all the time, but obviously whenever I got into strongman and got access to equipment, I didn't really do much barbell pressing after that. It was all axle, log, circus, whatever. But I don't have much else to say other than I'm going to try to keep these singles somewhat low rest time, but we'll see. I might analyze some video in between here and there just to see what might, what's best. I also think I'm going to do my Olympic lifting shoes. Well, I think I am because I messed around with it a couple weeks back, and it felt good with my Ollie shoes on this type of movement. So, we'll give it a try. We'll see. But this is where we're really into prep now. So, nothing to it but to do it. Let's move some weight. All right, so I'm 3 reps in. None of it feels very comfortable, but first time really training front rack with a barbell in a long time. You probably, if you're not super familiar with strongmen, you probably don't realize that there's much of a difference between an axle and a barbell. An axle has no whip. It's 2 inches thick, or 2 inches around, I should say. This, obviously, a barbell is not, it's not 2 inches around. And this, no matter the barbell, there's going to be a little bit of whip. Some more than others, like a deadlift bar is going to have a lot more. Power bar is going to be pretty stiff. A squat bar or bench bar, minimal whip. Because that's the whole design for those bars. But power bars, even though it's a stiff bar, it's still going to have some whip. You can see it in the video. So there's a bit of a timing thing when it comes to the whip. So if you watch like Olympic lifting, it's much more noticeable there because the bars, they bend, they have a little more whip to them. They use that whip. As the bar oscillates down, you're coming down. As it starts to come up, you push with it, so you have the weight helping you push up. So my timing is a little bit funky on this. But the thing that's really throwing me off a little bit is with an axle, because the bar is thicker, when I have it in my front rack, I feel most of the weight here. Everything feels pretty evenly distributed across. Because this bar is thinner, I'm almost in between. Like the bar is almost floating. Like sometimes I can get it to touch here, sometimes I can't. It's like right in between, but it feels like most of the weight's in my hands. And what that means when that happens is, let me see, I'll try to demonstrate. So like, if the bar is in your hands and it's not touching here at all, like some bigger dudes, they have, the bar sits like here. So when it's like that, when you dip for your press and then you push back up, your arms are going to compress a little bit. You know, there's some play here. If the bar is resting here, like you see in Olympic lifters, all that energy from your leg drive is coming up your body into the bar directly here. And then you're just finishing with your arms. But if you see a lot of big dudes and they don't have the bar resting here, front rack, you see there's going to be some play with their hands, so they can't get complete leg drive into it. So that's why behind the neck press is generally better, because that bar is sitting on your back. It is directly in line with your leg drive. So in theory, you should be able to get maximum leg drive in a behind the neck press. I just don't, 5 weeks is not enough to learn that for me. I've come to terms with that. As much as I hate to admit it, it's like an ego thing. I like being able to figure things out, but that one's a little bit complicated. But it is what it is. I'm just going to have to push press, front rack, and hope for the best. So, but I'm 3 sets in. I'm going to try something. I've been using my Olympic squat shoes for the first few. I gripped the bar normally the first 2 reps. I did a false grip on that third one. It moved the best, but it didn't feel any better. So I'm going to switch to my regular Converse shoes, ones that I always use for every other type of press. We'll see if it makes any different. The weight doesn't feel heavy. It just feels like it's being distributed weirdly. Like I don't think that it just feels awkward for now. So as obviously there's 10 to 12 reps today. So as I get through this, I'm going to hopefully dial some stuff in. That's why I haven't gone up to 375. This is still 345. It's the lowest weight on the scale today. So if I start feeling better 3 reps from now, I might consider going up, because I do want to feel some weight. Not that 345 isn't weight, but generally speaking, I can rep this weight out for 7-8 reps on a good day. So that's enough of a rest. Let's do this next set. that drive felt. Getting somewhere. Okay, pressing's done. Well, main pressing movement. I have those dead presses next, pin presses, whatever you want to call them. That went well. Started out a little funky, but I kind of found a groove there. Once I switched to, once I committed to something, I went back to my Converse, the shoes that I always press in. They just feel better. Granted, if I use my Olympic lifting shoes and practice with them, might be the move. I mean, I see most people use them, so there's probably something to that. But I've been doing fine at these, so we'll stick with these, I guess. Definitely a good testing day. Ended up going, I don't like false grip. I just don't. I am able to get into like a better rack position with it, but I do not feel like my press, the stability, the press itself, I just don't feel, it doesn't feel as good. And as I kind of loosened up and the weight got heavier, I was able to I have a weird looking front rack. It's not like an Olympic style front rack. I very much lean back and kind of puff my chest up and elbows are low. It looks funky, I guess, but it works, sort of, you know. So I was able to use my legs a little bit better, get a little bit more energy transfer into the bar directly. So that was pretty good. 375 didn't really feel any different than 345, so that's good. I think next week is like 375 to 395 maybe. But it's going to be heavy. But that was promising. Now that I kind of know what I'm in for, I don't have to think as much. I can just kind of do it, and just train. I'm very happy with that. All things considered, yeah, not many complaints. I do have one complaint. I don't know if it was rep 7 or 8 or whatever it was. But I rolled the bar into me and I hit myself right in the freaking Adam's apple. That really bothered me. Something else I'm not used to is knurling. I haven't used anything with knurling like to press with in a long time. It's always been axle or whatever. It's kind of eating up my hands a little bit. Just because it's like in the palm, you know, where you grab a bar. That's whatever. It's not like a big deal. It's just something I'm noticing. But man, it is so much easier to press out of the rack once you get used to it. Just doing a one-off here and there when you're not used to it, but after doing like, 10 singles like this, so much energy is saved. You can press so much more out of the rack like this. So stupid. But I'm going to need a lot bigger number than this, so not a bad week 2 technically, but I don't want to talk too much because I still got a lot of stuff to do. So let's move on to our press outs, pin presses, dead presses, whatever you want to call them. hate that. Oh, all right. That was better. It got better as I went. I didn't do. Well, what was last week? Set the 10 on that. But I didn't really do much pressing before. I did my circus dumbbell before that. So to do the same weight on the first set and then a little bit more on the next two, what was that? 335. Yeah, 335. I'm happy with that. After 10 singles, I know this is like pin presses, dead presses stuff. They're meant for more tricep stuff, but I just don't really feel triceps. I feel front delt. I'm just weird, I guess. Like I'm trying to visualize and like mentally use my triceps. I'm really kind of almost overcompensating at the lockout to try to get them involved. And I think it's working, a little bit, but could be better. But I think I have some tricep accessories here coming up. So I still have plenty of accessories, and I have more arm over arm, no like leg drive, minimal lean back type stuff after. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and record 2 or 3, maybe a set of each of everything, and then we'll close it up after that. So far so good. I am ready to be done with this session though. 10 singles like that takes a while, and I wasn't taking very long in between. It works out that way. So on to, I think it's single arm lat pull downs next. Oh God. Oh, that's embarrassing. Just finished up arm over arm. I've been in here for like 4 hours. I'm done. I'm glad I was home today and had today off, because that session would have sucked if it was like a regular work night. I didn't get out here till like 5:30, 6 sometimes. But, I mean, when you have 10 to 12 singles programmed and you're kind of messing with positioning, technique, whatever, sometimes that stuff takes a little while. But I'm tired. That was a very good session. Everything felt pretty even the whole way across. Energy levels were good. Pleasantly surprised. All things considered, like, I didn't do, like, nothing went quite right. You know, like, I didn't have, like, my usual food. I might have actually had more in calories for all I know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, actually. Either way, felt good. That little 20-minute, 30-minute nap I took, I think might have saved the workout. What was I going to say? I don't know, I'm just tired. I feel better. I just feel kind of more energized from a weekend of literally just doing nothing. Nothing planned, just whatever we wanted to do. Just hanging out. So nice. I hadn't had a day off since like March for the Arnold. It's just, I don't know, I just don't take really random days off. I don't call off or anything really. So, knock on wood. But that was much needed. So, I feel revitalized, ready to go for this prep, this 5-6 weeks coming up, and then out to Vegas. I'm so excited. You have no idea how excited I am. It's crazy. If you would have told me, oh God, I don't know, even probably 2 years ago, that I would have been, I would have done OSG, I would have won a regional there, I would have won Strongman Corp Regional, another 2 or 3 shows, whatever it has been since then, and now going to America's Strongest Man. I don't think I wouldn't have believed you. In my own head, I'm like, I just don't think that far. I kind of take whatever comes. That's really it, you know. I have different goals, but like, you also got to kind of take what you get in strongman in a way. So this year, you know, they turned the regional into an America's Strongest Man invite. It was already an Arnold invite. I wanted that regardless. But it's just the way things turned out, you know. Everything, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's just weird that I've been able to accomplish just about, like, I do short-term goals in here in Strongman. So, I won a show. I'm like, all right, Nationals. All right, I did well at Nationals. Try to get to the Arnold, whether it's at Nationals or whatever. Regionals. Well, I guess before all that, OSG regionals. I'm trying to get to OSG from there. Made that happen. Went to OSG, did my thing there. I just kind of wanted to just be there and get the experience. So now round 1 is done. It's kind of cool. I get to like knock off, you know, like round 1 at all of these things. So I did OSG. That was round 1. Round 2, hopefully next year maybe. We're about to do ASM. It's going to be round 1 there. Maybe I'll get to do it next year. I don't know. I kind of want to pick from ASM and OSG. I don't know if I want to do both, but and then next year I get to do the Arnold. So I'm knocking off all of these, all of the top amateur shows. I get to knock off, kind of almost not quite back to back to back, but you know what I mean. Not the Shot Classic, of course, but maybe someday. But it's crazy. It's all kind of coming together in a way. Just got to keep getting better, though. We are far from done, hopefully. So, went off on a rant there, but I just feel better after a nice weekend off, a good training session today. it's a good way to end a little 4-day break. So I will see you guys Wednesday for our next deadlift session. First real big one. So hopefully it goes well, because it's going to be heavy. I had a brain fart there. I forgot to do my outro. So until next time, go out, get strong, stay strong. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.